Hello, hello, my colleagues and friends. It's Isabella here, greeting you on Thursday, mid morning, early afternoon, whatever I guess depends you are and what part of the world you may be joining. For some of you, is already evening or already Friday. But one of the main reasons why I am doing this quick live is to address multiple concerns and issues that I'm sure will not be only educational, eye-opening to some of you, but also great reminder because I'm sure some of you already know what we're here talking about. So with this particular one, I wanted to address something that I'm seeing happening way too frequent. And I wanted to share a leadership perspective of relationships and connections, specifically on LinkedIn. Let's depict some do's and don'ts, and let's really spell out some things that really can help you to be more successful, as well as to create those amazing, meaningful relationships. Anyone who is welcome to comment, share, and as well as contribute. I'm opening studio to just very few groups here, and we might have surprising additions here as we progress with this conversation. But regardless, I wanted you to really pay attention for this segment because this is where the biggest mistakes are occurring and changing completely how are you viewed if you are doing them, and most definitely if you're repeating them. So LinkedIn is obviously the most trusted platform, and not everybody now, because of the beta test, have opportunity to these lives. It takes a time and effort for some of us to be approved and be able to do this because obviously LinkedIn has specific criteria and prerequisites. So first of all, I'm grateful, and it's so great to be able to do this and utilize this tool and be able to share the content depending upon the hot topics or situations that are going on. So this particular one, as I mentioned, is focusing on do's and don'ts, specifically from a leadership perspective. And I'm getting way too many of these types of connection requests so that I don't want to ignore them any longer or just delete them, but I also want to help others to be educated about. If you are reaching out to connect to someone and in one breath you are wanting to do 10 things and 10 steps without following through the proper etiquette, trying to connect at the same time, like I'm seeing you open for opportunities, let me tell you about the opportunity I have, an assumptive position to say, thank you for connecting with me. That is very bold and gutsy. You are asking to connect by assuming that I'm going to automatically to connect. That is such a huge turnoff. And it's not just for me, but it's for others that I had a conversation with. Because in reality, we don't understand your intention. We don't understand what exactly you're trying to do, right? Connections are based on people that have some similarities and some alignment. And if it's immediately that assumption there without creating the value why, and it's not specific about me. Yes, you might see that I'm looking for opportunities because everybody's looking for great opportunities. And those opportunities might vary to be on the board or to have a new partners or to work on new projects. It doesn't mean that all opportunities based on what you wanted to pitch. If you're also automatically now doing second thing, which is based on my background, I think with the project I have, it will work fantastically for you without telling you what the project is and without getting chance for me to know you. So think about it. I'm getting flattered with these types of requests when you are maximizing all the characters in invitation without ever considering that actually maybe it's better just to connect on something we are having familiarity with, and then take your time and process. If you are immediately creating this sense of urgency, meaning your sense of urgency, not mine, interrupting and disrupting my day, or try to do that and wanted to expect connection return on conversation, that's not going to happen. You know why? Because you're immediately intersecting something that you wanted to have accomplished. You want a connection, you want to pitch me your project without understanding what's important to me, and then in the same time, you have a sense of urgency. So you see how that goes? I'm sure if I do the same thing to you, you probably be like thinking, wait a second, maybe this is aggressive, maybe it's not relevant, and frankly, I don't care, right? So that is something that I'm seeing happening so fast because guess why? because people don't understand how LinkedIn is different maybe from other platforms they're used to, or the ways how they used to be received. Maybe that worked very well for you on the Facebook or Instagram or who knows where. Or maybe it never worked effectively, but you're just doing trial and error. So regardless where you might be, you have to understand, first of all, who is your audience? Who are you pitching to? And specific when you pitch into leaders, people that are being around the block, that are savvy, senior executives, people that are founders and owners of the companies, that are dealing with the high level individuals and high network, high net worth of individuals, then you may reconsider it, because it's a very different when you're dealing with maybe, your peers or different individuals in different groups that are maybe out of the college, or that are just sales guys who are just trying to fine tune their pitches, or trying to test and see what sticks. Doesn't matter. Regardless where you are at, as anywhere as we go in life, we need to quote unquote read the room. So if I fit, for example, in your criteria, you have to also understand, are you fitting in my criteria? Did you read my profile? Did you saw what I do? And based on that, concluded that your project or whatever might be scenario is fitting with where I'm at and what I'm trying to accomplish. And if that is not clear, guess what? That's why people have conversations. That's why people take a time, guess what? To build the trust. So if we're not able to build a trust because you dodged the bullet, because you smothered someone in just an invite to connect with you with these 5, 6, or 7 different requests and expectations and assumptions, guess what I'm going to do? And what others are doing? They're going to ignore it. They're going to delete it. Some people will even copy and share on social media and do shaming or educational way to tell what not to do. My style is not to do any of those besides obviously doing educational thing without disclosing people's messages and not doing the screenshots, etc. because I don't want to embarrass anyone. This is not about embarrassing, putting someone down, but it is opportunity to educate. And this is what leaders do when they have a time and where they're willing to give these learning lessons. But you also have to understand the leaders are extremely busy. This is going to be far in between when somebody will jump on the live and wanted to give you some very valuable information. Some of them don't feel comfortable leveraging and utilizing and being so open and vulnerable like I'm doing right now for various reasons, but doesn't matter. The key is right now we're here. So when you're really considering, again, either doing an email, be very clear and concise. What is the topic? What is objective? What are you trying to accomplish? Who are you trying to reach to? How are you doing? How you can be the part of all of that? What is the opportunity that you can offer? What is the value that you're offering? Why should I even pay attention to you? Because frankly, they do not know you. I had another situation when someone reached out to connect with me, did a proper, obviously, request for a connection, and happens to be in Colorado. Great, and we're local. We know maybe common people, so I thought let's do that. And before I could turn around, I started getting smothering messages. And one even read, "Oh, I don't want to be pest and smother you," but in reality, you're already doing that, and you know that you're doing it, but you're now trying to tell me you're not trying to do that. It's hilarious, isn't it? And what is interesting about is somebody's pitching me to try to buy my business without even knowing, A, first of all, am I interested? B, where am I at? Without even building a relationship with me and pitching that it has a 300 or whatever, 2,500, whatever one number of connections and people that might be considering doing that in the network. And think about it. We may have some common connection, but I don't have no clue who you are. You never did the effort to show me, taking interest in me further after connecting, before you start pitching. I don't have a trust. Frankly, talking about my finance, my business, and am I ready to sell or even have that conversation, it's turned off again because it was so premature and was again so self-serving and driven based on objective that individual had. And then again, he shot himself in the foot And I gave him an opportunity to give him a learning lesson by commenting and sharing privately and telling him that why this is not a good idea, and then keep claiming that he has tremendous success. Guys, seasoned leaders and people with experience can read through that. You cannot be successful with that type of attitude and approach that all of us know it's not working, yet you to continue to do. And then you claiming that you're successful when we in fact know that that is impossible. Because if I'm turned off and I know exactly what to look in these relationships and how to position, not only behaviorally, you don't have to be behavioralist like as I am, or have a 10-year experience as I do, but frankly, think about it again. Who is your audience? People that have a businesses, that are being around the block, that have a great network and and that are engaged with others. Why do they need someone unsolicited pitching for their services to explore to sell their business to them or to their network? It's for me like getting insurance calls about trying to get my homeowner insurance so that I can change and upgrade my roof and chimney. First of all, at the moment, I don't have a roof and chimney to insure it, and it's totally, again, not needed, unsolicited, and totally random. That is how it feels receiving some of that to directly, right, in these email boxes. It's quite entertaining and sometimes sad because, again, I can tell you why people are struggling and continue to struggle because they're not willing, they're not coachable, and they're not trainable. And even when you give them the value and give extra time, I didn't have to, I could just delete it, archive it, and ignore it and block the individual. But I wanted to give him a learning lesson. He read it, he was there, but guess what? He never said thank you. He never appreciated taking extra time of my day to give him different perspective that will help him to self-correct and also to learn something. So you might be thinking, Isabella, you're crazy. Why are you wasting your time? And you might be right. Because sometimes, again, being in the leadership role, understanding people and dynamics, you hope you plant in the seed and maybe now they will take their ego and tone it down and learn something. And as a result, do things better next time. So I just really wanted to urge you, don't pitch leaders from management or just casual interactive way from someone who really looks like a rookie, or from really even not effective sales pitching methods that we know that died years and years ago. Specifically during the time, you have to raise your bar, not only by what you do, how you're doing it, but how you are interacting with different caliber individuals than yourself. Those are amazing learning experience if you chose to. They're amazing opportunities, yes, to interact and build a relationship. But any relationship to be built, you cannot shortcut and bypass that process, period. Just by connecting with someone, that doesn't mean you got in. That doesn't mean that person is now ready and excited and cannot wait for you to pitch them about something that they frankly don't want, don't need, and they, and reality-wise, just simply gonna tune out and block you or whatever, ignore you, or make a laughter about it, how you approach the situation. Do you want to be laughed about it? 99% people don't, right? Unless you're here just to socialize and have fun and see what happens and experiment and do so many rookie mistakes. I want you to take initiative. I want you to be bold. I want you to be excited. Absolutely. But then also I want you to just think about these little golden rules so that you can fine-tune your process and eagerness to connect and interact with others. And as a result, you can be absolute superstar. Because again, this is not about shaming and blaming. It is about education. It's about looking at things from different perspective. That doesn't mean also the leaders that are top guns don't make mistakes themselves. We're not seeing so many people necessarily being active. We don't see many people posting. So a lot of them actually be amazed that some of the guys who quote unquote have a lot of content that is generic, that is repetitive, they have their assistants commenting on their behalf. They're not even their words. That's not even their efforts. We see so much disconnect, right? We see these personas and personalities when they're taking content from different parts of different people or repurposing stuff, but yet they're not necessarily engaging and they're not consistently congruently showing up who they are. And I know that that also can be very confusing. But clearly, we need to do some adjustment here. And it's a growth opportunity for everyone so that we can better leverage what LinkedIn is all about and actually truly uncover the real power of the LinkedIn. So if you're ready to hear what that is, please comment. And I'd like to see who is joining me here and commenting, who is able to arrive. I have someone who is, I'm going to add to the stream. I don't see him. I have seen Muhammad here saying that it's a great topic. Thank you, Muhammad, jumping on and sharing that. I'm also seeing Ali. I'm also seeing Edgar. Thank you, Edgar. It's so great to hear you. And also, I'm hearing here from Marco and Ali. So again, Mohammed, Ali, Marco, Edgar, please feel free to jump in and give me any questions that you may have. And Mr. Rashid, if you're available, you can unmute. You are actually being invited. I just gave a couple of groups my links and impromptu opportunity to join me in studio. So you actually, if you look at right now, you can see that your name is in the queue. Join, and if you want, just unmute and share some of your questions. Are you ready and are we available?
Yes, hi. Yes, hi. It's Rashid Aside.
Rashid, where are you joining me from?
Yeah, basically, I'm joining from India.
Fantastic. So great to have you. How is everything in India going on right now?
It's basically going on good right now. It's gradually things are getting better over here.
Which part of India are
Right.
you? I know that you guys have
Basically India. I'm from Rajasthan.
okay, but the
Rajasthan. If you heard
coordinate.
about if you heard about Rajasthan, it's a heritage city and heritage, state.
But you're not as close to area that is being extremely negatively affected by COVID, I'm assuming, right?
It is highly affected by COVID. Actually, even we lost, many years and years in this COVID situation. Yes, it's really worst time going over here.
Okay. So sorry to
Mm-hmm.
hear that, and I hope things get better, but I'm also glad that you're tuning in and that you jumped in this opportunity because I have several groups on LinkedIn and I offer to your group opportunity to impromptu join me here. So great to hear your voice and with the topic that I'm discussing here because people forget, right, how it's just to see from different lens than their own lens or the lens that they used to. And they forget.
Actually, it is.
Go ahead.
Yes. Actually, it is. Actually, people forgot about it.
And they also, because they never maybe had the level of experience or opportunity to lead large organizations and enterprises, they don't necessarily understand how day-to-day work from leadership lens look like, right? So now how do we interact? How do we contribute? How do we create the value? How do we bring so many things forward? It's changing dramatically, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is changing actually. And LinkedIn is doing great work, and LinkedIn is supporting to adding value to others. Right, it's a great platform where we can share our ideas, our experience over here, where actually we can add values to others.
Yes. And as you know, even from India, I mean, it's such a large country with so much population and also so many users just from India, right? But now we have global users from other parts of the world. We need to think about so many consideration, cultural consideration, linguistical consideration, traditional consideration, level what it means to be professional and professionalism might be worried and what norms culturally approve and don't approve in certain parts of the world, Western versus Eastern, versus Middle Eastern, for example, or Asian. I mean, we can go on and on, but ultimately we're all people. Doesn't matter level of education, the title, we're all seek the genuine, kind, professional, connected relationships, right, that are based on the specific values. When we treat each other with respect, we're cognizant about everybody's time, and we really wanted to show up in the best light, right?
Actually, completely agree with you on this.
And with that in mind, Rashid, what do you see some crazy trends that puzzles you a little bit on LinkedIn right now from your point of view? And I do mind sharing for our audience what exactly you do, what is your title, or what industry you're in, so that we can a little bit depict a little bit more.
Great. Basically, I deal with the startups. I guide many small business owners, whoever whoever want to learn business, their etiquettes of the business, how to grow their business from bootstrap level to multi-million dollar business. So I usually guide them actually, and as well as I guide the students for sending them abroad for their education in USA, UK, New Zealand, Canada actually.
That is fantastic. So perfect example. We have right now, when we even look at just United States, right? When we take away Fortune 500
Hmm.
companies and everything, we have actually so much of our economy attributed for the phenomenal startups and small businesses. That is actually, I remember us seeing the data that was over 70% of just DNA in the United States. I forgot
Hmm.
exactly percentage. So when we look at that in other parts of the world, small businesses constitute so much of the data in other parts of the world, right? So reason I'm bringing, so you're sitting in a driver's seat as experts in small business and growth in one of the challenging environments, right, where there's a lot of competition and not necessarily as many resources, and yet you're teaching them how to conduct the business. But I'm sure through your avenues you're also teaching them how to leverage not only social media, but also how to show up and be a good leader, right? And how to lead by example.
Yes. I agree with you. I agree with you on this.
So I wanted just to say the leadership starts with anybody who is willing to lead and take initiative. It's not a solid title and years of tenure experience, but takes the time to really to be great exemplary leader. But what I wanted to just to say again, it's opportunity to learn, because right now we cannot afford inappropriate misconducts, inappropriate behavior and many misconducts and
Mhm.
messages and people trying to, just because of their sense of urgency or trying to get a new client or just trying to sell or meet a quota, to ignore what it takes to be successful. Success doesn't happen overnight. It requires time and effort, but more than anything, it requires to build the skill. And what you just said, Rashid, is you're teaching them how to run the small business. It's like a learning how to drive the bike, right? So that is,
Right. Actually, it is. Lots of knowledge, lots of education we need how to run a business, because only the idea won't work. Only an idea won't work to run a business, right? You need a little etiquettes, and you have to be right, very much into the how the market is going on and how you have to drive with the situation as well, right? We have very much into all these things, the marketing research as well, right? So there are lots of things over there to learn to run a business. It's not just an easy task, like we have some idea and we just start doing some business,
yes.
right?
And as a result, it's a many component to it. Like, for example, let's say you're an engineer. Even though you're a phenomenal engineer, you still need to be able to have a great people skills, right? Be able to effectively communicate, being to be respectful, able to influence and impact, engage. You also have to be very good at technology, right? There's just so many different
Actually,
things that you have to master in order not just to be successful in what you do day to day, because you have to interact with who? With people, right?
actually, you have to understand the mindset of the people as well, what they are thinking and how they are looking there, and how you're adding value to others, with your ideas, with your product as well. And you must be a little bit technology enabled as well, because the digital marketing, you have to be very good into digital marketing as well, because the traditional things is not going over there nowadays as the COVID situation, right? So the entire market is changed, the mindset is changed of the people due to the COVID situation, right? So now the people are more into the digital part. So you have to be a little bit more active on the digital part as well. The traditional things won't work nowadays.
Fantastic. And see, that's what I'm trying to say. So now bringing back to platform of the LinkedIn, most trusted social platform, more trusted platform that changed over the years. They used to be just connect and then focus on business alone. It is the business platform, but it is also a platform now to build influence and impact and of course income. But in order to get to income, you cannot bypass these other two elements. Are you influential? Are you credible? Are you trustworthy? Are you reputable? And how we know that, how well developed your profile it is, how many people recommend you, what your clients say about, what our mutual
Hmm.
colleagues tells me about you, right? And then also, how are
Actually,
you conducting yourself? Are you professional? Are you respectful? Are you also conducting yourself based on how you communicate? Because it's also very strongly behavioral too, right?
agreed. Actually, it is. Actually, it is.
So thank you, Rashid. I'm so glad you jumped in, and despite of everything that's going on, time zone difference, and being in the midst of it, COVID crisis in India and parts of India where is the worst. Again, I'm glad you could able and we were able to join us. Also glad you're
Mhm.
safe and your family is safe, and also to hear the voice, because I will be doing these lives where I will offer the opportunity for people that want to jump on lives and share their voice so that we can
Great, great. It's like an opportunity. It's like an opportunity talking to you over here. Yeah, just going through over the group like you just start and live session over there. I'm like, let's it's an opportunity. Let's go and discuss some points with you. Let's hear what you are adding value to others. So I just at random I join you and getting like you are actually delivering a great knowledge to others.
Thank you. But this is again, if I have a knowledge or you have a knowledge and nobody knows about it, then we're not making impact that we can, right? So it's so important to do more of these conversations. And again, thank you so much for joining and sharing your perspective. And I wanted to ask you again, everybody that is listening, if you have any questions. I'm so glad that you guys love the topic. Did you like what I already shared? And I also do like what Rashid contributed, who also jumped impromptu again to share his perspective from India, because this is what we all know. It's not necessarily, being prepared and trying to be perfect or trying to portray something. It's about being real, being congruent with who you are, sharing honestly, transparently, and helping others that are struggling. And because of struggle is real, so many people are new to the platform. Some people been around the platform for a while. Some people are desperate because they want to meet financial goals, objectives, because they're in financial crisis. I understand all of that. Just because people don't broadcast that based on their actions and behavior, that doesn't mean that others are not experiencing the same issue. But also doesn't mean by being in the crisis and trying to do something like that, it's going to solve your problem. So with that in mind, I really wanted you guys to take a quick look. What don't you like and appreciate when you are being pitched or asked to do certain things, or how is someone communicating through your own LinkedIn, and things that you really love and that you find amazing? I love when people spend time and effort, for example, to listen to my podcast or pay attention what I do, or have read something on in my Forbes article, and they truly genuinely will emphasize on something specific topic-wise. So you just know that it's not a generic thing, but also that they are really asking specific question. Doesn't matter if I can and cannot do that, but they're clear in intention what they're seeking. But it doesn't have to, but it's not self-serving, right? It's not about pitching me their products and services. It's about trying to figure out and say, Isabel, I'm looking for a mentor. I'm looking to connect with people because I am launching new product and services. What would you suggest to go about? That is so amazing. Every question like that, trust me, people will jump on to help you, because then they can self-select and say, oh, this is right in my alley. I can definitely help you. Let's schedule 30 minutes phone calls. Or I am very busy, but a couple of my actually peers might be able to assist you. Or whatever might be scenario. But when you give the people chance to understand what you're looking for, and then they can self-select or choose how they want to approach it, magic happens. It's not forceful, it's very respectful, and as a result, it's going to be very successful. So again, my dear colleagues and friends that are watching this or you're going to be watching later in replay, I wanted to share again how important it is to think from leadership perspective. So again, take a time, reassess where you at, reassess what's important to you and how are you showing up. And if you are interested to be again in the future conversation discussions, I will have more of these impromptu lives in my regular time slots, but with special guests that are willing and able to join last minute, because guess what? All of us get surprised, right? So with that, I would love to close. Want to thank you everybody joining me, commenting, sharing. Mohammed, thank you so much for being here. Ali, great to hear from you as well. Marco, Edgar, fantastic to have you. And then also we have Andrea. Thank you for jumping in as well. And anybody else that is here watching and listening. And Rashid, did you have a last comment before we close? Anything that you want to share based on information that we just discussed?
It was great. It was a great evening over here, and you actually doing great job over there. So I just say like people have to like engage and sharing their knowledge over the LinkedIn and help each other, right? As like you are doing.
Fantastic. Okay, Rashid, stay safe and well. And dear colleagues and friends, this is to be continued. Okay.
Thank you, thanks a lot. Okay,
You're
okay, bye
welcome.
bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.